Friday, President Obama responded to claims by some that the hack was an act of war.
Do you think this was an act of war by North Korea?
No, I don't think it was an act of war. I think it was an act of cyber vandalism that was very costly, very expensive. We take it very seriously. We will respond proportionally.
That full interview airs at 9 a.m. Eastern, but the president also standing by comments that he made on Friday that it was a mistake for Sony not to move forward with the Christmas Day release of the interview. I want to talk more about this with our senior correspondent from CNNPolitics.com, Chris Moody. Chris, thanks for joining us this morning. First of all, it seems pretty clear that the president is trying to, in some ways, take the rhetoric down a notch or two, that he does not want to escalate the rhetoric with North Korea when he calls this cyber vandalism. How does this benefit the administration moving forward?
Well, the words of presidents are extremely important and carry a lot of weight, obviously, especially when it comes to foreign policy. So for him to use that word, war, there would be serious international implications. And you're right, he was trying to de-escalate this, and a proportional response for an act of cyber vandalism is very different than an act of war. Now, this situation has raised a lot of concerns about cybersecurity, both in the government and in businesses. And it's something that security experts have been warning about for a very long time. So while it was terrible for the company and embarrassing for a lot of people, I think it's going to serve as a wake-up call in many industries across the country about getting their security on the web intact and prepared for things that are coming in the future.
And there is another poignant moment in that interview with Candy Crowley when she asked the president specifically about Cuba and some of the other so-called bad actors. I want you to listen to something that the president said about Russian President Vladimir Putin.
There was a spate of stories about how he was the chess master and outmaneuvering the West and outmaneuvering Mr. Obama and this and that and the other. And right now he's presiding over the collapse of his currency, a major financial crisis, and a huge economic contraction. That doesn't sound like somebody who has rolled me or the United States of America.
So he is clearly defending himself here, and we saw that press conference that Vladimir Putin had more than 3 hours, 53 questions, really kind of an epic thing that he does annually here. But the president did seem that he wanted to make that point here, that this is not somebody who's getting under his skin, that in fact he is the one who's responsible for the economic downfall, and essentially that is going to hurt him in the long run.
Vladimir Putin spent most of 2014 flexing a lot of muscle. And President Obama's right, there were a lot of stories written about how Obama was allowing this to happen and letting Putin walk all over him. But then the ruble collapsed, and then gas prices collapsed, which hurt the oil industry in Russia. And I think that puts Putin in a very tough place. He might not be able to be nearly as ambitious, and President Obama knows that. Now, President Obama spent the last part of this year, as we saw in the past week, flexing foreign policy muscle on Cuba. And while that was a really controversial decision, it is going to play a major part in his legacy of foreign policy, and I think it's going to be something that's going to be talked about and debated for many years to come. But I think while Putin was spending most of the year looking fairly strong, President Obama is saying in the interview that he's coming out on top in the end of the year.
All right. Chris Moody will be debating this much throughout the year and into the next one. Thank you so much, Chris. Appreciate it. And of course, you can watch